Welcome back, everybody, to Vidane TV. A little bit of Thursday night racing action here with a multi-league cup series from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Good evening and welcome. My name is Showtime Paul Strickland Jr. up here in the Vidane TV booth. Joined alongside me, a fellow that's been here a time or two throughout the Tim's Corner Motorsports, and I believe he ran a little bit with the RBR Maritime group as well. The old number 99, Brandon Campbell. Brandon, thanks so much for coming out here tonight. Kind of sort of a local track for you, being up in Canada, but great to have you out here for a little bit of action here on a Thursday night.
Yeah, Paul, thanks for having me. You messaged me about an hour ago, so I had to take the Vidane private jet down to New Hampshire, but from Canada it's not too far, and this, I guess you could call it my hometown track. It's only a slight drive down the road, but I'm excited to be here.
Just a little bit on down the beaten path, as it were. Just taking a quick look. We just wrapped up qualifying, and no surprise, Scott Patton up towards the front, starting on the pole in that number 46 ride, and you can see right alongside him, going to be the 41 of Wesley Holland, 1, 2, 3. Brings us some new colors this week. Michael Milfeld Jr. rocking a new paint scheme. We'll see if we can get the cameraman to adjust the look on that. There you go. A little bit of blue and white action there for Michael Milfeld Jr., one of the big friends here of Vidane TV, big time supporter. Got to appreciate the little bit of a donation here before the show. But that new sponsor tonight, Bait Plastics, everything you need to make your own soft plastic fishing lures. And I got to tell you, Brandon, these guys with all their fishing and their outdoor sponsors, it's telling me to probably go outside, get some fishing done this weekend.
Yeah, well, they should probably all make a trip up to Canada. We got lots of fishing and hunting and outdoors up here, so it seems like these guys would like to come up north for a trip sometime.
100%. I know it's definitely on the docket for myself. One of these weekends, get up there and visit some of the racetracks up in Maritime Canada. But you can see the starting lineup going through your screen right there. You can see Corey Reed starting in the 15th position, Jason Hughes 17th, James Double O Brown back in 18th, and on back 34 cars here making the call at Loudon Motor Speedway And really exciting to be here tonight. 33 cars there. You can see Joe Marks. They're the 34th car in line getting ready to go. But looks like two drivers going to miss the call. The 306 Kerry Cleaver, Joe Marks in that number 4, still setting on pit road. But everybody up front says it's time to go. 110 laps on the docket here at the Mile Speedway up here in New Hampshire. Getting ready to get a little Cup Series action going down at Loudon.
Yeah, it's going to be a good race, I think. I've been to this track a few times in real life, so I know what the real life racing looks like, and I expect the same from these guys. They're definitely not beginners, that's for sure.
100%. I've been to this racetrack a few times myself. As a matter of fact, the first time I was ever here, it actually had hot passes, and it was with a bunch of sim racers. So a group just like this one. We'd all run in a league together. We all got together at the campsite. I think it was Thursday night or Wednesday night before the racing got on, and we sat around the campfire, and it was just like sitting at our computers talking to each other on the voice chat, except everybody was actually there. And well, most of us were pretty inebriated because that's kind of how we get down. But there goes Space Car. He's going to take that left-hand turn, take it to the safety of pit road. Green flag is in the air. There's the shot for Scott Patton. That 46 Stone River Outfitters car already has about 4 or 5 car lengths as he shoots on down to turn number 1.
Now, Paul, at the start of the race, I know with the Tim's Corner stuff, we usually take predictions. Do we do that here?
We do, but I'm usually wrong almost every time, so we wait till like halfway through. But, oh, we got Jay Smoke in the 58 car already around. I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to pick him because he's already got a bunch of damage. Jason Hughes, a little bit of bumper car action towards the middle of the pack. Looks like he is able to gather that thing back up and running, but it gives us an opportunity here on lap number 2 to pull up the very first Kong Beer Bong instant replay. And if you want to be the life of the party, definitely check these guys out. Kong.2drunk.net. It'll pull up our affiliate link, and you can check out all the cool stuff that they've got going on over there. They make a lot of beer disappear very, very quickly, and Badane TV always reminds you to drink responsibly. But here's the issue here. Take a peek there at the 58 car. Just kind of loses the back end of the car as he comes out of turn number 2, it looks like, and then gets tagged coming around the inside and finds himself resting right there in the racing groove. But he does grab a gear. He gets it pointed in the right direction. Gonna have to shoot on down to pit road and get that car worked out. And well, as he's down there, Jason Hughes, one of the drivers known for jumping in the YouTube chat under caution and checking in with the fans. And got a lot going on in the production trailer, so we'll see if we can maybe catch a word with Jason Hughes later on here tonight. But always cool to have the fan interaction, the driver interaction with these guys in the Multi-League Cup Series. Anytime they come under caution, or if the on pit road for an extended amount of time, the drivers kind of jump on down and say hello to us here in the production booth, and as well as any fans that are out there watching in the YouTube world or in the Twitch world, streaming simultaneously on the Badane TV YouTube page, as well as the old Twitch account, Strictly94 on Twitch. If you're so inclined to shoot on over there and give us a follow and a subscribe and all that good stuff. And we're also on Twitter. We got Twitter worked out, trying to get on there and post daily, but I keep forgetting it's a thing. So working on that as well, Badane TV on Twitter. And well, I had to jump on the trend. I finally opened up a TikTok, Strictly94 on TikTok. It's got nothing to do with racing. Pretty much just me drinking beer.
Well, yeah, that seems like something you do quite often, so it could probably fill up your feed pretty quick, couldn't it?
Well, we've already got 4 or 5 videos here in the first week. I think we're rocking about 7 followers over there on the TikTok. So TikTok famous, here we come.
You know what? It's funny because the word TikTok is probably more used than the word Twitter these days.
100%. One of the more popular forms of social media, and well, it's definitely entertaining for sure. You can get lost. Well, I myself could get lost for a couple of hours. Lost nights of sleep just sitting there. It's Viking video, pretty girl video, racing video, drinking. It's almost like it knows exactly what it is that I like to watch.
Yeah, I feel the same way. You know, you look down at your phone, it's 10 o'clock, you look back up, and it's almost 2 in the morning. So it's definitely addicting, and I've never used Twitter, so I'll have to say it's better than Twitter.
100%. Lights still on in the iRacing non-manufacturer specific pace car there. You can see that iRacing added that in. The 306 getting ready to take the wave round here at Loudon, and still working the caution laps. It looks like the lights may be shutting off this time by getting these drivers lined up 2 by 2 all the way through. And you can see it's still status quo up front. Scott Patton going to take the inside line. Wesley Holland up on the outside. James Lehman, Andrew Schulte, Kyle Chadwick, Jeff Merck, Vernon Markheim, the points leader back there in 7th position. Michael Milfeld Jr. In 8th, Ken Huber 9th, and Kim Quick rounding out the top 10. Getting ready to do it again one more time here as we cross the stripe for lap number 6.
We're definitely expecting a close race here. If you look at the qualifying times, most of the field was in pretty close range. So, an early caution or two, everybody trying to get into position and work it out. But I think we're in for a good one here.
Absolutely. These guys in the Multi-League Cup Series put on a heck of a show. You actually asked me before the race here, Brandon, these guys, what's the deal with the name Multi-Leagues? Well, it's a couple of leagues that kind of came together to form a super league, and they get together and race 7 nights a week, twice on Sunday. So lots of racing action going on here. We're going to try and get the Eastbound Park crowd in here this winter as well to see if we can maybe make something happen. But nice slow restart there, and Scott Patton shot out of a cannon there in the number 46 Stone River Outfitters car. Great lead as he shoots down into 1, side by side behind him for 2nd.
Yeah, and if you notice, like on iRacing, as soon as the pace car goes, you can really go anytime. There's not really a restart box like real life, so there's definitely a game being played when you're the leader. You could go early, you could go late, so it'll be exciting to see what he does on the restarts from here on out.
Contact with the 05 car. He holds it. Oh, and the points leader is spun around in the 33 car, and that's going to bring out caution flag number 2. When we saw that happen live in front of our faces here, but we're still going to back that up and take a peek at it on the Kong Beer Bong instant replay. Make the good times better and let the good times roll with the Kong Beer Bong. And we'll pull up the replay, take a peek. You can pretty much see it yourself here. There's a little bit of contact. The 05 gets into the 05 gets into the corner, and the 81, the Cornflakes car just kind of threw a bowl of cornflakes right at his quarter panel. Got in the corner a little bit too hot, got in the back quarter panel, and got the 05 of James Lehman spun on around. That's going to knock him back 11 spots. Going to be restarting from the 15th position here. And it has a little bit of damage there on the right side of that race car. You can see the fenders kind of kicked in, left side as well. So he luckily he's still riding. He doesn't have to call the sponsor there on the 25 of Daniel Ferguson, Aflac. So good news there. He's going to be able to continue on, and it looks like he's actually going to come down pit road in that 05 Camry, see if he can get a little bit of work done to it.
This place is really tough because there's actually an outside and an inside groove, so different drivers running different lines will drive it in deeper, back the corner up, so you just gotta, I guess, figure out what the guy in front of you is doing to make sure that doesn't happen.
And a lot of different racing styles in here, the Multi-League Cup Series as well, and we see a lot of the drivers up towards the top. You see Scott Patton, Wesley Holland, Kyle Chadwick, Andrew Schultz, Michael Milfett. The top 5 really kind of a who's who here in the Multi-League Cup Series. The points leader is a little bit further on back, actually on pit road in the 33 car back in 28th position. Still early yet, lap number 8 on the board so far. But these guys put on a heck of a show week in and week out here on Thursday nights for Dane TV. It goes all the way back to the very first race these guys were here with us, Kansas. One of the best races, most action-packed races I think we've had here in a very, very long time. And these guys put on a heck of a show. So usually we get, every once in a while, we'll get these couple of littered cautions earlier on throughout the race. But giving the drivers an opportunity to kind of feel everything out. They want to be able to race each other and race the cars, but they also want to be able to race the track as well. So the further we get into this run, the further we can get some green flag racing, I think the better the racing is going to get throughout the night. And you can see already, lights off on the pace car. Nice quickie cautions. We're getting ready to go back green.
Yeah, we like the quick cautions, file them back up, and we're ready to go. But we're expecting a good race here. I was running a few practice laps, and I was about a second off, and I'm on here quite often, so I don't think I'd be able to keep up with these guys.
I know I definitely wouldn't. That's why I'm up here in the production trailer and not down there on the racetrack.
Well, yeah, and you also can't eat your steak inside the car, so here's a good spot for you.
That's very true. I was hoping you'd tell a story or something right there as I took a big old bite out of the steak, so I apologize for talking with my mouth full, but apparently that's what Brandon wants. So what Brandon wants, Brandon gets. Here we go, coming to the green flag. iRacing pace car is going to dip down to a caution, down to pit road. Going to get that restart once again, crossing the stripe for lap number 10.
Yeah, and we're clicking on to lap 10 now. It's a long race, 110 laps, and we already see some cars with damage. So, I think if you're in the back, you're trying to stay clean, keep your nose clean, and maybe avoid some of the wrecks that are going to happen.
You can see, made mention, there's a lot of different racing crews here at Loud, and the top 4 cars pretty much single file. The first battle is going to be for that 5th position between Michael Milfeld Jr. there on the 1-2-3 Toyota, and he's got Kim Quick on the outside, and kind of working that middle groove just a little bit to think better of it, and they're going to get back single file, and that stretches on back now to about 9th place, where we can see the 9th, check that to 24 of Corey Reed. Working the outside, caution flag comes out once again. Multi-car accident towards the back of the pack, it looks like.
You know, with these Cup cars, they're really tough to drive because if you're too hard on the gas coming out of the corner, they're so easy to go around. And where the track's so narrow, the wall comes quick, and the bottom groove drives completely different than the top groove. So I assume we'll see a few more early ones, and then once they figure out the groove and how the tracks ran, they'll get it figured out.
And a lot of times here you'll lose the back end of the race car and not actually make contact until you're pointed in the wrong direction. Taking a peek here, you can see just a little bit of contact between Jeff Merck and the 60 car. The 33, Vern Markheim, involved again, gets tagged there and spun on around, but luckily no real big hits back here. And you can see just a little bit of damage on the 60 Skeeter Boats car, but doesn't look too worse for wear. Going to grab a gear, get on rolling again. Work on this the car down on pit road here as we join caution once again.
It's tough because, you know, in real life you got to go back and you got to fix the car, but even on iRacing, I'm sure these guys have run hundreds and hundreds of laps, and you definitely don't want your race ruined on the first lap of 110. So there's a lot that goes into the practice and the time these guys put in, and it's definitely not the race some of these guys want to have already.
A little bit of mind games being played up front. Kyle Chadwick getting ready to dip on down pit road, and at the very last minute he swerves that car off to the right hand side and stays out on track. It looks like the top 20 cars or so stayed out on track. 22, 25, 23 cars or so. Jason Garrett, the 23rd place car, the last one to stay out. But James Lehman, Vern Markheim, Jeff Merck, James Hearns, John Henderson, Brian Stewart, David Schreck, Bill Paradise, George Jones, and Kerry Cleaver down there on pit road getting service to their machines. So might start to see a little bit of fuel strategy start to kind of work out here if we get this thing going green. Got a lot of guys, for the most part, that have been out there for all 13 laps, but now we're starting to think about different strategies as far as tires. Maybe you think you take 2 tires now, get it a little bit of a long green flag run, stretch it out just a little bit. Lots of different possibilities here at the mile racetrack.
Yeah, for sure. And where this track has really no banking, you know it's going to kill the right front tire. And we're coming off the corner. They like to get sideways, so it's going to kill the rear tires. So this is definitely going to be a tire management track, and they're definitely going to want to save their stuff, and hopefully they'll be there at the end.
Getting ready to line them up 2 by 2 again. Scott Patton leading all the laps. New second place car, Kyle Chadwick, in number 88, moves himself up to the front row. Going to start at the outside. Andrew Schulte and the Kellogg's 81. Terry Labonte throwback. Going to restart from the 3rd position. Wesley Holland and Kim Quick rounding out the top 5. Michael Milfeld Jr.'s up there as well. Ken Huber, Charlie Widener, Corey Reed, and Jeff Gilmore rounding out the top 10 so far. And everybody getting lined up 2 by 2. Going to try it once again here. A restart coming to line. Going to be lap number 15.
It looks like we have a different strategy here by the 46 of Patton. It looks like he's going to start on the outside this time.
Changing it up just a little bit. We've seen all of the lines kind of work for different driving styles here at Loudon, and we've seen Scott Patton fast wherever he goes. So now's the opportunity to do your homework just a little bit. He's going to try the restart on the outside, and there he goes, shot out of a cannon. Looks like Kyle's going to be able to hold on just a little bit, be able to get into his tire tracks, but give that lead to Scott Patton as he gets on down to turn number 1.
Yeah, Scott Patton definitely has these restarts figured out. He always gets a big jump, and he knows right when to go, and looks like we have a pass for the lead. A little squirrely coming off the corner, but we'll see if he can get him.
Kyle Chadwick giving it all he absolutely had there in the 88 car. Big time sideways down in turns number 1 and 2, and still door to dump door at this point. And you can see that car super loose on the bottom side, but loose is fast. Going to give the lap that time by to the 46 to Scott Patton, but Kyle Chadwick wants that lead. He's going to keep working it on the bottom side to try and get around him.
And the harder these guys race, the more they're going to kill their tires, and you see the 3rd place car is right behind them, so it's giving the opportunity for more drivers to close in and get closer with them, and it'll definitely make a nice little pack within a few laps.
Scott Patton must have definitely done his practice here. Oh, almost a little bit of a slide job action there for the 88 of Kyle Chadwick. Now he's under attack from 3rd place just like that. Andrew Schulte wants to try and get a little bit of that low side action, and you can see just driving that car as hard as he can down into the corner, able to close up in such a big way. But the drive off in the 46 is too strong, able to put on a little bit of distance here between the 2nd and 3rd place drivers.
Yeah, the drive off on this track's insane, and where the top's a little bit tighter, you can get on the gas a lot quicker, whereas you can see on the bottom, it's a lot looser, and it's, you gotta be a little more gentle on the gas, but both lines seem to be working equally here.
And you can tell with these drivers, a lot of time is getting put into these driving lines and these driving styles. These guys know what these tires are going to do after a long green flag run. We usually have about a half hour of practice before each one of these races on race night, but these guys out on track all night long, working the team aspect, as it were, getting out and kind of sharing information back and forth, what the car's going to do on long runs, short runs, and all that good stuff. And here we can see a good battle up front for the lead. Kyle Chadwick keeps trying to make it work on that bottom side, but doesn't quite have enough momentum to get down in front of that 46 car.
Yeah, this has to be one of the toughest spots to pass, where the drive off on the outside's so huge, but the bottom, you get them in corner entry and through the middle, so it's definitely tough to pass here. You got to make your moves right and maybe get them into the corner. It's really tough here.
You can see it's pretty much calmed down up towards the front. A little bit of a 7-car breakaway, single file throughout the field. Take a peek here at Kim Quick in the 21. He's kind of leading the second pack here, up 3 positions in the 7th spot in that number 21. And caution flag number 4 comes out, and we'll see what the issue looks to be. It looks like the 24 car pointed in the wrong direction.
Yeah, and it seems like these guys started to figure it a little bit. They got a good run here, but again, it's just so tough, this track, with the no banking and with how loose the cars are off exit. It's tough, and it looks like he might have hit the inside pit wall, so it's definitely not how he wanted his race to go.
One more Kong beer bong instant replay. You can see a little bit of loose action, new colors there for the 82, but he's holding on to it. And again, coming out of turn number 4, hitting the old turd barrels there, as our buddy Mike James likes to call them. Loses the back end of the race car coming out of turn number 4, and that's one of those deals, Brandon. You just get on the throttle too big. You've mentioned it a couple times with these flat racetracks. There's really nowhere for the car to travel, so it'll just bring the back end of the race car right on around, and you can see the nose damage on that race car. He may very well be done in that number 24 Camaro.
Yeah, these cars don't treat the front end damage very well, so I'd say realistically his race is pretty much over, where he'll most likely be down on power if he doesn't blow up. And like you said, it looks like we have the leader pitting.
Yeah.
And second place pit out.
Yeah, second place called it an audible there at the very last minute. A couple of drivers electing to stay out. Kyle Chadwick, Wesley Holland, Michael Milfeld Jr., and Kim Quick going to stay out. Everybody else coming down pit road. Scott Patton, the leader, coming down here as well. We can see Eric Talent, Jeff Merck, Jason Garrett, Calvin Miller, Alex Chapin, and Vernon Markheim. The 10 drivers to stay out on track. Everybody else coming down pit road. So this is going to get interesting. We've got a lot of these drivers that haven't pitted all throughout the night. They're on 22-lap tires, and a couple of drivers coming down to see if they can maybe get a little bit of track position a little bit quicker here on the lap times. And we'll be able to compare those lap times here for you momentarily to see how it works out. But it looks like Scott Patton going to be the first driver off pit road, and he's going to restart in the 11th position.
And as we've seen here, track position is so important with how hard it is to pass. But at the same time, where Chadwick's been out for 22, coming on 23 laps with the old tires, you know the guys in the back are going to be moving way quicker. And we'll see if his decision worked out for him, if we have a quick caution, or if everybody's going to get back up there.
We can see it actually looks like Vern Markheim, the points leader, going to be going down pit road in that number 33 car. He saw just how many drivers came down to get service and says, yeah, I think I'm going to do the very same. So going to be interesting. 9 drivers staying out to get a little track position here. And really the best bet that they've got is everybody else behind them that hasn't come down pit road. So I think some of the drivers towards the second half of the top 10 are in for a rough go of it. They're going to get passed very, very quickly with some of these drivers on 4 fresh tires, but I think it might even out by the time those guys with the 4 tires get up towards the front.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm going to use the word calamity for the first time ever. And with these guys coming on fresh tires, with the guys in front of them that'll be a little bit slower on the older tires, you might see, a little more rough stuff in the middle. And they're going to want to make their way to the front as quick as they can.
A little bit of a tangly situation, as it were.
A little bit.
A little bit. Speaking of Tangley, that's one of the promo codes over on the Verdane shop. You can get the Verdane TV merchandise, Angry Tree Guy, Rent a Race Car. We've got all sorts of different t-shirts in there. Some of them even Grand Theft Auto 5 inspired. I got into the Grand Theft Auto online myself over the past couple of weeks and made a couple of t-shirts. So check it on out. Punch it in the old web browser there, www.verdane.shop. Check out all the cool stuff we got going on over there. Use promo code TANGLY for 10% off. Don't ask how it spells, because honestly, I don't remember.
Have we made those Verdane TV shower curtains that were in the talks in the winter yet, or are we still waiting for those?
We're still waiting on those. I think we'll get those for the winter months, but got a couple of hats that are over there. Lots of different t-shirts, sweatshirts, all sorts of cool stuff. There is an opportunity. We might be able to get some cool camera backdrops made over by the old Verdane shop, so be sure to keep an eye on that and take a look over at the social media outlets, Facebook and Twitter and Twitch and YouTube and all that good stuff. We'll be sure to let you know what we got going on. But there goes the iRacing pace car. Going to take the safety down to pit road. And new leader, Kyle Chadwick, same result. Gets a great hole shot there from the bottom side. He's going to head on down to turn number 1 with about an 8-car length lead over the battle for second between Wesley Holland and Michael Milfeld Jr.
Yeah, and I expect to see a lot of position changing as the run goes on, but another great restart at the front. You know, it's so tough to time these restarts, and as somebody that races quite often on here, it's just so tough. You never know when they're going to go.
Milfeld bringing those new colors in the 1, 2, 3 car up to the 3rd position, and a great looking race car there. New sponsor on board as well, so trying to have himself a good run in the old 1, 2, 3 car, and Jeff Merck coming right up behind him. Those are some fresh tires, I believe, there in the number 60 car. Really making him work, putting it into 4th position. He's going to take a beat down low and try and take away 3rd.
Yeah, we see a battle for 3rd. There's quite a few battles throughout the field, actually. You see the guys with the fresh tires trying to get their way back to the front. And then, you see some of the guys that maybe stayed out are starting to drop a little bit.
Pretty much up towards the front. Couple of drivers using a couple of different lanes, so you can see a side-by-side battle for 2nd place. Jeff Merck trying to get all he can get out of those tires early on in the run here, because he knows as soon as these tires wear off, pretty much level playing ground. And you can see really the best thing that the doctor could order, clean air, especially on that 88 of Kyle Chadwick, holding on to the lead. He's got about a 0.3 of a second lead now over 2nd place Wesley Holland.
Yeah, it looks like he's definitely done his homework and his practice. He's got this place figured out. He's been up front the whole race so far, and he's starting to put some laps in the books now.
Jeff Merck still trying to make it happen in that 3rd place position, the number 5 60 car. Side by side now for 3rd, and a little 3-way dance action for that 3rd spot. Scott Patton with the fresh tires. He's trying to make his way back up towards the front. You can see just how well that number 46 car sticks with fresh rubber down on the bottom side. Going to almost make it 3 wide coming out of the corner, but they think better of it. 2 by 2 as they come out of turn number 2.
Paul, it's just night and day with the tires here. You can see how much better he rolls through the center, and, well, he got a little loose in there. I think maybe drove it in a little too deep. But you can just tell how much better he rolls the center, how easy it is for him to drive off the corner, and he's starting to run down our leader now.
And that's one of those, that's one of those things, side by side, 4 seconds, still able to close in on the leader, but we're going to put a pin in that. It looks like David Schreck is around, unfortunately, towards the back of the pack here, I believe. But caution flag definitely out. Let's see if we can pull up just what it was that happened there. Looks like the 9 car might be involved.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like. You see a little bit of damage on the back of the car. Maybe he had some help, but again, definitely not how you want your race to go. What lap? Almost 30 laps into the race. Still early.
Still very early here at New Hampshire, and we're going to pull up the Kong Beer Bong instant replay one more again and focus in on that 9 car, the 11 car the 11 looks like he just kind of drifts up the track a little bit too much, gets into the rear quarter panel of the 9 car. He kind of boops the outside wall. No harm, no foul there. Kind of caves into sheet metal a bit, but nothing too crazy. But definitely going to end up having a restart towards the back of the pack. As we can see, 31 cars still on the lead lap of the initial 34 that made the call here for the green flag earlier on. So still it's all order to go. Lots of racing to go here. Just about a third of the way in the books. as pit road starting to be very, very busy once again.
Yeah, very busy, and we expected this from the guys that stayed out the last time, so maybe it could be a fuel strategy, or maybe they just want the fresher tires later, so it's we expected to see these guys down pit road this time.
Couple of drivers pitting last time came down this time, but a couple of drivers that came down just a few laps ago stayed out. Scott Patton, Ken Huber, Andrew Schulte. Some of the drivers staying out: Alex Chapin, Keith Haney, Jeff Gilmore, Brian Abbott, Mike Erder, James Double O Brown, and Jason Hughes, the top 10 drivers that have stayed out. 14 drivers in total staying out on this caution, and you can see Kyle Chadwick going to win the race off of pit road. So he'll be the first guy with 4 fresh tires, but he's going to be mired back here in the 15th position as we take the restart on lap number 33.
Yeah, and if you were one of those guys that pitted last time, you're hoping this stays green so you can make your way back up past the guys that didn't pit. But if you're one of those guys that has the damage early, you're hoping the cautions keep coming. You can get that damage repaired.
With the lights still on and the iRacing pace car gives these drivers an opportunity to get their heads all put on straight. We're going to take a quick break here, pay some bills, be back here live for the restart. Don't go anywhere. Badine TV will be right back.
CTWE wrestler The Mac.
And I'm Showtime Stevie Stamos.
Have you ever dreamed of owning your own race car and taking it out for a test drive? Well, thanks to our friends at Rent a Race Car, you can!
Visit www.rentaracecarne.com for all the details on how you can take one of these babies out to Stafford Motor Speedway. We'll see you at the races.
Touchdown!
Back at it for another restart here at New Hampshire Speedway. 5th caution out here on lap number 34. A couple of cars pointed in the wrong direction, but we've gathered everything backed up, stacked everybody up 2 by 2. Scott Patton going to take the restart from the point. Ken Huber, Andrew Schulte, Alex Chapin, Keith Haney going to be rounding out the top 5.
Yeah, we've seen him up front all night, so we definitely think he'll get back on the gas here, and maybe he'll get a little bit of a lead as he waits for the 88 of Kyle Chadwick to make his way back up there.
You can see the 88 Air Jordan ride all the way back in 15th position, the first car in line with 4 fresh Goodyear tires after this last caution. And there you can see the restart up front for the 46 car. But here comes that 81 throwback paint scheme there from Terry Labonte. Caution flag comes out one more time, so we're going to put the dog ear right in that and hold on to it for the next restart.
Yeah, another quick yellow again right after the pit stops. You know, it may be guys trying to get to the front quicker than they need to, so it's I think yellow number 6, right, Paul?
Yeah, we'll back this the old replay up here for the Kong and Beer Bong instant replay. 6 caution flag here tonight, and taking a peek, not seeing a yellow 6 car.
You know what? These guys are just lucky we're not in here, because we wouldn't have made a green flag lap yet.
Just kind of taking a peek. Looks like the 79 car pointed is down on pit road. We'll see if we can maybe rewind the tapes. And it's in and out car. Looks like he's sitting on pit road. He's been on pit road for a little bit now, it looks like. So.
Now, Paul, what is in and out?
That's I believe it's a burger chain out west in the United States. I've never actually been there. I guess they got really good steaks, almost like a Steak and Shake.
Yeah, we don't have those in Canada, but I've heard all about them.
Yeah, just looking through, I'm not really seeing any issues on track. The 79 did come down pit road, it looks like, to call it an evening, and potentially that's what brought the race, the caution flag out. But don't see any major incidents, so gonna hold on to the lead for a few more laps here. Scott Patton in the 46 car doing a phenomenal job. Seen him all the way through the top 10 at this point in time, and holding on to the lead. Andrew Schulte there in second. We've seen him try and make a couple of moves to try and get around the lead, but no fuss such as just yet. But Ken Huber in third, Alex Chapin in fourth, and Keith Haney in the 87 car up in the top five. Jeff Gilmore, Mike Erder, Brian Abbott, Jason Hughes, and Bill Paradise out in the top 10. James 00 Brown holding on to that 11th position. So you can pretty much see these drivers up towards the front of the pack. Nice, clean race cars. Not too many dings or dents throughout the virtual sheet metal or anything like that. So that might be the call of the race, keeping the cars out front, keeping them out of calamity.
Yeah, for sure. And we've seen Scott Patton up front all night so far, and you can see how quick he made his way from behind the cars that didn't pit last time. So he's definitely done his homework. He's figured it out, and his car is clean so far. So I think we should expect to see him up at the front near the end of this.
One of the drivers in the top 10 in points, and we're getting closer and closer to championship time as we're going to reset the points and do the old playoff showdown here. Vern Markheim has about a 50-point lead over second place, but pretty solid runs out of that 33 camp to keep him up in the points lead here for the Multi-League Cup Series. And this is one of those races where you want to try and make up as much ground as you possibly can on the racetrack, but it's tough to do when we get these quick cautions that come out one right after another, and we've made mention a couple of times here before. Usually we'll get a couple of quickie yellows up towards the front of the race, and everything kind of hunky-dory after that fact. We've seen these guys go green many times. We've seen many green flag pit stops from this Multi-League Cup Series group. So just having a little bit of an off night here at the mile. I almost want to call it a short track, but not quite. It's like a short track super speedway almost here at Loudon.
Yeah, for sure. We consider Milwaukee a short track, and this is laid out pretty much the exact same. It's just a big Martinsville. But it's definitely a tough night for those guys. Maybe had a poor qualifying run. They had to start at the back, and they're just not getting the opportunity to race their way back up to the front.
The opportunity once again for Andrew Schulte. He's going to take the outside line. Scott Patton electing to restart from that bottom side. We'll see what that does here on the restart as the pace car going to take that left-hand turn down to the safety of pit road. Stone River Outfitters there on the quarter panel. Kellogg's on the outside holding on to it as well. And there you can see the 327 of Alex Chapin, a new name up towards the front here. But green flag in the air once again. There's the whole shot for the 46. Gets the clearance that he needs. He's going to hold on to the lead going into turn number one.
Another great restart for the 46, and it's just so important because now if he wants to run the outside line, he can. If he wants to run the inside line, he can. And it just gives them that little bit of a gap in case there is an error going into turn one.
And these drivers know that they need to start cranking off some laps. The top 8 or 9 drivers or so pretty much single file throughout. And you can see back here the first side-by-side action is between the 117 of Mike Erder, Jason Hughes. Good recovery here in the number 58 car, involved in that very first caution on lap number 2. He has moved himself up into the top 10 and looking pretty strong. There you can see Wes Hahn, the 41, backtracking just a little bit, but he's got 4 fresh tires on that car. Here comes Kyle Chadwick as well in the 88 and one car way down low. Kim Quick in the 21 gets it saved before he hits the grass, but he's going to come back into the field here, back towards the middle of the pack.
Yeah, Paul, I've been looking at the hard charges, as we call them this race. So we got the 87, who started 32nd position, and he drove himself up to 5th. Alex Chapin in the 327 from 22nd to 4th, and Brian Abbott from 28th to 7th. So these guys have found a way to make their way to the front, even though starting that far back.
And we haven't had too many super long green flag runs, so a lot of that's happened both on pit road and on these quick restarts that we've had here. And these drivers know that the best opportunity that you're going to get is on fresher tires. And no, we apologize. That's actually the 00 of James Brown up in this mix here in the second half of the top 10. So Mike Erder holding off on that 8th spot. Jay Smoke in the 58. He's got Jeff Merck dipping on down low on the bottom side, and the 00 of James Brown trying to collect some of the action as well. A little side-by-side battle for the 10th place.
Yeah, Paul, for sure. And the last time I was on Verdane TV, it was for a super speedway race. So this is definitely a big shakeup for me, going from the packs of 40 cars to, the more single file stuff. And it's just, oh, the 00 James 00 Brown was almost down into the inside wall. But it's just a complete different race than the super speedway stuff.
Lots of diversity here on Verdane TV. Lots of different racing backgrounds and disciplines throughout. We've got super speedways, short tracks, dirt racing, road racing, all sorts of different stuff. You name it, we've got it here on Verdane TV. And sliding into the winter months, we're getting ready to really entertain the masses here. I've actually got myself a nice third shift job, so we are good to go all nights of the week here on Verdane TV. Nothing out of the question, nothing out of the ordinary. As well, anybody that's been following us knows that we like to try doing exciting different things here at Verdane TV, and looking forward to that. Oh, big wiggle for the 24 car, holds on to it. Corey Reed, great heads up driving coming out of turn number 2. But the New England, Pennsylvania iRacing Series, those guys are coming back in October. The Fatheads Cup Series, new brand, they're coming back with the Loose Lugs Cup Series here on the 28th of July in a couple of weeks on Verdane TV on Wednesday nights. And the East Coast Winter League, they're coming back, little modified action. Tim's Corner Motorsports always putting on a heck of a show here with us, and we've got a couple of things in the works as well. Liberty Racing Series put on, whoa, got a car all the way down on the grass. Is that Michael Milfelt? That it is, the 1-2-3 car, not in good shape.
No, for sure. And again, it's just coming off the corner. It's so tough to get. You want to get back on the gas as quick as you can, but it's just so tough. The car wants to just kick out. But we see Kyle Chadwick slowly making his way back up to the front. He's now in 13th position, just ticking off the cars one by one, hoping this stays green.
And the longer this racetrack goes green, the more spread out those tires are going to get. So he's trying to get everything that he can out of those tires now before they start to kind of even out with the guys that stayed out on the racetrack. But we've seen before that low side doesn't, well, just as I say that, he makes it work as he gets around Doug Evron in the 22, but used a little slide job action. Didn't quite have enough to hold on to it as he came out, so moved himself up into the way of the 22, and now he sets the sight on that 58 car, Jason Hughes, in the 11th position.
Yeah, and where you see this a lot in dirt, where the guys will go low and then slide up in front of the car in front of them. And if you got to pass on the inside here, the top side gets such a drive off where you need to cut that momentum off somehow to not just lose the spot again. So Kyle Chadwick definitely has it figured out. He's ticking off the cars one by one.
See pretty much throughout the field, at least in the top 10, 15 cars, single file action all the way throughout. A couple of drivers trying to take a peek on the high side to see if they can maybe get a little bit more grip, but for the most part, everybody rocking that middle line or so, and it's still status quo up front. Great big lead there for the 46 of Scott Patton. About 2.5 seconds almost over second place Andrew Schulte in the Kellogg's car, and you can see Ken Hubert trying to make it happen on the outside, getting around him, making it work. That 30 car coming up, new second place car.
Yeah, the 30 car seems to be rolling the top very well, so we'll see if he has something for Scott Patton in the front. And we see a lot of the guys with the newer tires starting to make their way back up through the cycle and back to where they were when they went down on pit road. So this is, I think, the longest green flag run we've had. So we're going to see those guys with the fresher tires start to make their way up to the front again.
And you can see Keith Haney in the 87 car. He's up 28 spots on the night in that 4th position. Jeff Merck up a couple of spots. Alex Chapman holding on to top 10 run. A good run for Brian Abbott as well. Jeff Gilmore checked that in the 9th position. And Kyle Chadwick quietly making his way into the top 10. But looks like caution flag number 7 going to come out here on the speedway. The 306 Kerry Cleaver pointed in the wrong direction and slow off the pace. So we'll pull up the Kong Beer Bong instant replay, find out exactly what went out. Easy enough for me to say. We'll pull up the Kong Beer Bong instant replay and find out what went down.
Now, Paul, do we expect pit road to be busy here?
I am going to say it's a solid maybe.
yeah, for sure. Especially with the track position and the tires starting to even it out.
Yeah, tires starting to even out. We'll take a quick peek here. Looks like a single car incident for the 306 car. Just gets into the corner, back end of the car, starts to kind of come around and just on that throttle a little bit too early for this flat racetrack. He pumps the brakes, doesn't quite get it spun around, but does in fact stop in the racing groove, so that's going to bring out the caution number 7. And just as we say that, caution pit road rather, busy spot. Don't even look like, or doesn't even look like rather, anybody stayed out. The Kim Quick machine, the 21's going to stay out, try and lead himself a lap or two here, but everybody else coming down pit road to get service.
Well, I guess your big maybe, you couldn't go wrong with that answer, but we see everybody down on pit road, and it's going to be exciting to see the race off of pit road with how many cars came down this time.
You can see 2 tires going up, the left side of the 46 car going up as well, so it's going to be 4 tires all the way around for everybody. And Scott Patton with that number 1 pit stall going to come off first, and there you can see the race off pit road. Kyle Chadwick going to go up a couple of spots, and we'll see if we can pull up the old pit road graphic here, the pit stop time, and you can see Kim Quick stays out, gains 9 positions, and he's been out for quite some time on those tires. Schulter picking up 3 spots in the 3rd spot. Haney picking up 28 spots, so he might have actually stayed out at that point. Oh, no, that's 28 spots from the start. So you can see pretty much status quo across the pit road times, mid 14 seconds or so, and the race going to be interesting up front. Kim Quick electing to stay out, and Scott Patton, the first car with 4 tires, going to be restarting the outside.
Personally, I probably wouldn't have made the decision to stay out because these fresh tires, they're going to be coming, and they're going to be coming quick. But it's going to be exciting to see what happens, and you know how these restarts have gone. You get a big jump almost every time, so we'll see if he can stay out front for long, and you know Scott Patton's going to want to make his way back around him and keep leading those laps.
There you can see a couple of drivers just kind of coming back and joining the tail end of the field, getting a little top-off action on the fuel tanks and making sure they've got enough fuel to really get a green flag run in if we can here. Kim Quick, you can see up towards the front, a little bit of back-end damage on that 21 car, but nothing too crazy. Scott Patton, the first car off pit road. Andrew Schulte, Keith Haney, Ken Huber, the top 5. Wesley Holland, Jeff Merck, Alex Chapman, Kyle Chadwick now up to 9th, and Brian Abbott holding on to the 10th position. And still looking through 28 drivers on the lead lap of the 34 that took the green flag here tonight. Joe Marks out of the race, Charlie Widener, Bryant Stewart, Jason Garrett, Doug Hevron, and James Hearns all down on pit road, getting those cars either worked on or getting some service to them. George Jones in the 28 car, the first car on, or the last car rather, on the lead lap. So still anybody's race up front all the way throughout this field. Anybody can come home with the victory. It's going to be a tall order, though, trying to get around that 46 car. Scott Patton going to be restarting on the bottom side here.
Now, you must have known I wasn't going to let you off the hook. We're under yellow, exactly halfway. Who's going to win this race?
Oh, I'm going to say, I don't want to go with the obvious answer. Scott Patton, very, very quick here. He's strong all the time, every racetrack. I'm going to go with the 46 of Scott Patton.
You know what? That's a good choice. That's a good choice. But I think it's going to be the 87 of Keith Haney this time. From up 28 positions with a clean car, especially after what we saw at the start, I'm excited to see where he ends in the end of this.
And you can see he gets a great restart there, but it looks like he's going to get held off just a little bit by Kim Quick on the outside with those new tires. And Andrew Schulte really getting shot out of a cannon, but no harm, no foul. A couple of drivers involved in a multi-car incident. It looks like here Ken Huber, one of those drivers, as we can see dropping like a rock on the timing tower. So gonna have to back up the Kong Beer Bong instant replay once again, find out what went down, and looks like a multi-car incident with some of the faster cars here, Brandon. We'll take a quick peek here at the contact and focus in on the 30 car, the Caterpillar car down low, Wesley Holland in the 41 up on the high side. A couple of drivers going for the same piece of real estate, it looks like, and Jeff Merck involved. Kyle Chadwick, how about that? That 88 car hits the brakes, smashes him. He's going to have to come down and definitely flat spotted those tires, but some heads-up driving for Kyle Chadwick. We'll see if we can back that up one more time and get a little onboard view here. But that is some heads-up driving. You can see the smoke as it happens, and the 88 car just does a great job. You see the smoke. There's the car pointing in the wrong direction. Smash the brakes, rip around on the steering wheel, and doesn't even get back in the throttle because you can see the caution lights are out. So that is a good piece of driving for the 88 car, Kyle Chadwick.
Yeah, for sure. If you watch the wheel on his car, it just moves left and right and left and right. And that's one of those guys who's been also quick all night, and he definitely doesn't want to get caught up in a wreck that quick after a restart.
For sure, and we've seen him all over the top 10, depending on how the pit stops have come down, and still holding on to the 7th position right now. He's got relatively new tires on that machine, and Kim Quick doing a good job holding off the leaders out front without some fresh tires on that machine. So pretty interesting to see. Lots of different strategies up towards the front, and it seems like right now the long game is working pretty well.
Yeah, it's definitely working out for him, and for him, he's hoping this race stays yellow the rest of the race. But for the rest of the guys behind him, they're hoping these fresh tires work out for them and he can get around them.
So working caution number 8 here at Loudon, New Hampshire. Struggling to get the long green flag run, but we've seen some exciting racing throughout the night so far here. Thank you so much for joining us here on Verdane TV. You're watching the Multi-League Cup Series brought to you by the Stone River Outfitters up in Amherst, New Hampshire, a little brick and mortar fly tying shop. Definitely be sure to dip in there. They've got a great Facebook page as well as a website you can check out, and be sure to help support those that support us here doing our little sim racing hobby here. And we've made mention a couple of times that these guys are really putting on a show, entertaining the masses here. And speaking of entertaining the masses, we're going to try and see if we can get a little booth-to-car communication with our leader, Kim Quick, Paul Strickland, up in the booth. You get a copy? Try it one more time here. Kim, this is Paul Strickland up in the booth. You get a copy?
All right, I got you. Sorry, wrong channel.
No worries, man. Yeah, we see you're out there on old tires. A little bit of strategy here coming up about halfway through. You got anything for Scott in that 46 car?
No, I ain't got anything for Scotty. But as far as the tires, I think I'm okay there because they're not wearing that bad. I had 35 laps the last time, and I only had 97 on the right fronts. Doesn't even look like the insides are wearing.
But making it look easy, and we can see doubled up, lights are off on the pace car, so ready to go back to work. Hopefully we'll talk to you after the race here.
All right, have a good one, man. Thanks.
It's Kim Quick up in the 21 car, holding on to the lead right now, and he says tire wear really isn't that bad here, Brennan. So that's going to be something we're going to have to factor in for the later on in the run.
Yeah, that definitely that blows my mind because it's iRacing. The tires always wear. But you'd think a flat track like this, the tire wear would be really bad. But I guess these guys just have their lines figured out and they can save tires better than I can. That's for sure.
One of the things to make mention, we haven't had a green flag run, a super long green flag run. So it's going to be interesting to see if we do get a green flag run and the tires start to wear just a little bit. But Kim Quick doing a great job holding on to the lead. Scott Patton down low, Andrew Schulte, Mike Haney, Jeff Merck in the top 5. Green flag out one more time.
Yeah, and you saw a little bit of a game there from the 21. You saw the 46 start to accelerate, the 21 waited, and when he saw the 46 start to slow back down, that's when he took off. But you can just see the 46 with those fresh tires is just a lot quicker on the straightaways and in the corners. So, but we also see it looks like the 87 passing for second place, so maybe he has something for the 46 of Patton.
Possibility. You can see a gag of the cars, these guys trying to get going as quickly as they can. Big run for the 60 of Jeff Merck, taking that Skeeter Boats machine all the way up to the 3rd position, getting around the older tires of Kim Quick, and you can see starting to drop back just a little bit, but Andrew Schulte in that 81 car moving up towards the front. We've seen him work very, very well on these restarts early on in a run, trying to get as much ground as he can. And speaking of ground, here comes Kyle Chadwick in the 88, the Air Jordan machine, moving up to the 7th spot. It looks like he's bringing a points leader with him, the 33 of Vernon Markheim.
Yeah, we expected him to get back up there as quickly as possible, avoid all the tangly situations that have been going on around the middle to the back. But a guy we haven't talked about much tonight, Jeff Merck in the 60 car, he's up to P3 and he's actually chasing down the leader and second place.
Skeeter Boats ride number 60 car, and you can see right over the back bumper, going to try and take a peek down low on Keith Haney. Keith Haney, we can't really stress enough, he's up 30 spots on the night, started 32nd, almost shotgun on the field, and here he is running second. Brian Abbott, another driver in the 5th position, the 82 car. He's up 23 spots on the night, and he's under fire from Kyle Chadwick there in the 88, diving down low. But great racing, great strategies throughout the field here. Some of the drivers able to really make things happen. And you can see the first battle is pretty much this battle for 5th right now. Kyle Chadwick trying to move on up.
Yeah, and you can see the respect these drivers give each other. A lot of room given. No really rough stuff, and all the yellows we have been, accidental. Nobody driving in over their head, as you'd say. So the respect in this league's insane. The guys, you can tell they raced together before, and it's a great show to watch.
Multi-League Cup Series always putting on a phenomenal show here on Thursday nights for TV, and pretty exciting to bring. These guys are going to be running all the way up through August to bring us their championship race, and it's really going to be fun to watch all the way through, and going to be a good kind of a transition time, so to speak, as we get ready for the winter months. Crazy to think we just got rid of all the snow here, and we had a crazy year last year with COVID, the COVID-19 pandemic, lots of sim racing action, and really built ourselves quite a bit of almost a cult following here of TV. We've got a lot of drivers and a lot of friends that we've met both on and off the track, and we made mention a couple of times this week. Grand National Greg, a big friend here of TV, unfortunately passing away yesterday, so we want to extend our thoughts out to the Peters family. John Peters, a two-time New England, Pennsylvania iRacing Series champion. Father was a big fan of TV, and thoughts and friends are out with the whole Peters family. You can actually check out social media and the hashtag Racing4GNG and just find out just how special this man was to a lot of our hearts here in the racing world. And it's tough, but the show must go on, and those are almost words right out of Greg's mouth. Always trying to entertain the masses here of TV. And these guys in the Multi-League Cup Series doing just that. You can see Michael Milfeld Jr. turning up the afterburners in the 1-2-3 car. Going to get a little side-by-side action with Kim Quick in the 21. But he's going to get around him for the 12th position and set his sights on the top 10.
Yeah, you see these guys now starting to make their moves. We're about to hit lap 69, and it's a 110 lap race, so we're over halfway. The time's starting to wind down. So, is this the time to go? Do you think we're starting to get the green flag runs in, and maybe this is the time where you think, okay, I got to start making my way to the front if I want to be there at the end. And we have a yellow on the speedway.
Old George Jones in the 28 car pointed in the wrong direction. You can see he grabs a gear, gets on running. The damage doesn't look too strong there, but might be one of those deals. We're coming off of turn number 4. Just got a little bit too hot in the throttle and got that car to spin on around here, but we'll back up to Kong Beer Bong instant replay, and well, looks like we're half right. A little bit of contact between George Jones and the 28 car and that 24 car of Corey Reed, and we'll pull up the replay going into the corner, and you can see a little bit loose in the back end of the 28 car, holding on to the bottom, and it looks like the 24 car was just trying to come on down, and a couple of cars going for the same piece of real estate, and a little lazy kind of half spin there for the 28 car, but stops in the racing groove. Race officials deemed that caution worthy, so we're going to come out for caution number 8, I believe, and it's going to be interesting to see, especially after talking to Kim Quick there a few laps ago, saying the tire wear wasn't all that bad after a 30-lap run. It's going to be a wonder if any of these guys come down pit road.
Yeah, that was it looks like, unless Patton came down pit road, and I assume we'll see a few to follow. Maybe they'll need some fuel to finish the race, but it was shocking to hear that the tire wear wasn't as big as we expected it to be here.
So we're coming up very quickly on 40 laps to go, it looks like, and we made mention, Kim Quick said he ran about 35 laps on a set of tires and it didn't slow down, so we may very well be watching the entire field come down pit road, all 28 cars on the lead lap, coming down for what could potentially be the final pit stop for a lot of these guys. And you can see 2 tires for Kyle Chadwick. How about that? He's going to come out with the lead. The 87 car going to come home third. Scott Patton finally gets down and away from that number 1 pit stall, but holy moly, how about a little 2-tire tire strategy for the Kyle Chadwick ride?
Yeah, this is definitely that strategy we were talking about where, you need that track position, and where Chadwick he wasn't right up the front, but he was there, and now he's going to have his turn to start in the first position, and maybe he can get those restarts and pull away from Patton. So it'll definitely be exciting to see how the 4 tires work against the 2 coming with 40 laps to go in this race.
You can see he gets up there with plenty of time to spare right on the back bumper of that iRacing pace car, and lights are still on, so a little bit of time to work the caution flag here, and This is the time where you really see different gambling pay off. Scott Patton, very obviously the quickest car in the 46 car, and Kyle Chadwick trying to do a little bit of a different tire strategy, coming out with a two-tire stop. So definitely going to be interesting to see what happens here on both the restart and a little bit a few laps into the run.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just one of those things that makes iRacing a simulator, right? Where it simulates real life pit strategies that you see in these cup cars all the time, where they decide whether they want to take 2 or 4, whether they need fuel now or later. So it's definitely going to be exciting to see if Patton and Chadwick can make the difference between 2 and 4 tires.
So stacking them up as they get ready to take the green flag once again here. Kyle Chadwick, a two-tire stop up in front. Everybody else taking 4. Scott Patton, strongest car all night. He's going to restart in that second position. Keith Haney, Jeff Merck, Andrew Schulte, Kim Quick, a great run for the 21 car. Finally back on the same pit strategy, pit cycle. So he's got 4 French tires. The points leader, Vern Markheim, starting in 7th. James Lehman strong, got into a little bit of an incident earlier on in the 05 car, but he's back into the second half of the top 10. James Lehman, Brian Abbott, Alex Chapin, and Jason Hughes beating on the back door of the second half of that top 10. We're going to get the restart with about 36 laps to go. My pick's still running second. Where's your pick running?
Third, but he also passed 29 cars to get up here, so my money's still on him.
The lights are off in the iRacing pace car. He's going to bring these drivers slowly into turn 3 and 4 and go down the safety of pit road to get maybe a front row seat here to the finish of this race. Kyle Chadwick down on the bottom side. Scott Patton up on the high side. 2 tires versus 4 tires. They're going to work right off the bat, firing out of the start box there. Kyle Chadwick holding on to the bottom line, has the room. He can kind of drift up if he needs to. Scott Patton, single file in the second car. They're side by side, though, for third. Keith Haney and Jeff Merck going for that position.
Yeah, we're expecting a great finish here. You know, the top 5, Chadwick, Patton, Haney, Merck, and Schulte, we've been talking about them all night, and they've been running the top 5 consistently, so it's going to be exciting to see which one of these guys come on top in such a close field.
There you can see Scott Patton kind of doing his homework at this point, trying to see what those 2 tires have done for Kyle Chadwick, to see where he's stronger, where he's quicker, where he's maybe going to make a mistake. Oh, car way down in the grass on the center of the backstretch. I believe that's Jeff Gilmore in the 57 car. Gathers it back up in the Miller Genuine draft car and gets that thing still pointed in the right direction, so no harm, no foul there. But Kyle Chadwick still out front, 2.5 tenths of a second, almost 3 tenths of a second over the leader, Scott Patton, and Scott at this point following the same line as Kyle Chadwick. So it's going to be interesting to see if this is enough time for 2 tires to really wear. Oh, they're around in the backstretch. It looks like Kim Quick, I believe, in the 21 cars around. Miller along for the ride as well. And there you can see Wesley Holland rejoining the field, as is Jay Smoke. So that was interesting.
Yeah, this is definitely not what Quick wanted to see. You know, he played the tire game. He stayed out for that restart, and then he got this, I think it was the 6th position starting on this, but this is definitely not what he wanted to see with 30-ish laps to go.
This is one of those restarts, or one of those wrecks we're going to have to take a look from the Goodyear blimp, and it's one of the features we have here with the iRacing service. But you can see down at the bottom right of your screen the initial contact, and there's the smoke. The car's pointing in the wrong direction, and the 41 and the 58 just looks like they went all the way down there to avoid calamity. See if we can pull that up. It's Wesley Holland in the 41 car, so we'll back this up one more time and take a quick peek at it. And you can see they, both those drivers just kind of going down. I want to say that's not quite a road course, but they see the contact there, and they just go down in the little dog leg here and just kind of float on through the grass. A little bit of bumpy right there, but nothing too bad. So that's some heads-up driving for Smoke in the 58 and Holland in the 41 car.
Yeah, for sure. They used, every part of the track they could to avoid that wreck, because it's coming down to crunch time. They definitely don't want to damage the car. And it's just, again, you saw, spinning the tires off the corner. It's not ideal. It'll get the car sideways, and if there's a guy beside you, it's tough luck for you and him usually.
So a couple of drivers coming down pit road. There you see Kim Quick. He's going to get some tires and repairs done to that machine. Daniel Ferguson already down and away. Christopher Davis, George Jones, James Hearns in a 78 car, John Henderson and Brian Abbott all down to the attention of their crews. But it's still Kyle Chadwick up front, Scott Patton in the second position. Third place is going to go to Jeff Merck, Keith Haney in fourth, and Andrew Schulte running in the top five. And these guys have put on a heck of a show here tonight. Haven't really seen that long green flag run just yet, but it's definitely been a good show with some of these short, quick restarts.
Yeah, for sure. And this is one of the toughest tracks I've found on iRacing so far, where there's multiple grooves at work. The top's tight, the bottom's loose. Everybody wants to be in the same spot at the same time, but these guys have definitely put on a great show, and I'm enjoying my first race here so far.
Entertaining the masses as they like to do here in the Multi-League Cup Series, and we'll see if we can maybe get a little bit more boost-to-car communication. Lights are still off on the racing pace car. Yeah, we got a little bit of time here before we go back to green, so we'll see if we can maybe get the third place driver. Hey, Merck, down in the 60 car. Paul Strickland Jr. up in the booth. You got a copy?
I do, Paul. What's up?
Not too much, man. Looks like you're having fun. Good run here. You're up 5 spots on the night from where you qualified, and that number 60 Skeeter Boats car is looking pretty fast. You got something for him?
I don't think I got anything for Patton. It's going to be a fun race, but Patton, you got to have something special to outrun Patton here at New Hampshire's home track. But I'll give it everything I got. That's for damn sure.
Looks like we're getting ready to line them back up 2 by 2 here. You're going to be restarting on the inside. What have we got for a strategy for the end of the race? Do we have to come down pit road at all for tires, fuel, or are we just getting after it?
Yeah, we'll have to see how the cautions fall or where they fall, whether we get tires or not. While you got me on here, big shout out to the wife in there watching the broadcast. I won't let her know I love her, and go try to get this trophy for her.
100%. You got to give me a shout out for your team name, your teammates too, so I know where to put you back in the team channel. And that's going to be the third place driver of Jeff Merck in the 60 car. Confident he's going to have a good run here, Brendan. Not quite as confident about getting around that 46 car, but it's like you said, we'll have to see what these caution flags do, if we even do get more caution flags. Going to be taking a restart. 29 laps to go here at Loudon, and business is getting ready to pick up.
Yeah, it's starting to get to crunch time now, and we've seen Patton and Chadwick out front all night, so it's going to be exciting to see if one of these guys have anything for them as we see Chadwick get another great restart.
Clean air all over the front nose of that 88 car, and there you can see Andrew Schulte again. Strong restart, trying to get up and around Merck, but doesn't quite have enough to get that car to stick on the bottom side, so he's going to fall back in line. It looks like the 5th position for right now, but he's going to do everything he can to try and get up and around these race cars. And you can see Jeff Merck kind of running a little bit lower line than Scott Patton, trying to see if he can get up and around him. We haven't seen too many cars get around that 46 down on the bottom side.
No, for sure. It's all come out to strategy so far, so I don't think he's actually been passed on the track yet, but we're going to have a battle for the lead here, and we'll see how the 2 tires compare against the 4.
And that's exactly what Merck and company wanted to see in that 3rd position. Oh, contact! Kyle Chadwick around! Kyle Chadwick, a little bit of a bump, well, a big bump there for the 88 car from the lead. Oh, big contact from the 9 car. The 9's going to quickly hit that reset button, but unfortunately, a little too much, a little too late. Big hit for Kyle Chadwick in that 88 car. That's tough.
Yeah, that's definitely not how I'm sure either one of these drivers wanted this race to end. So we see Chadwick. He's going to have to go back to the back and get the damage repaired. And I'm sure Patton didn't mean to do it. It's just one of those both trying to get the same spot, and Chadwick's trying to keep the lead, and Patton's trying to get it type deals.
Yeah, and we can see here from the Kong Beer Bong instant replay coming up to the incident here. You can see Scott Patton down on the low side, just gets in there a little bit too hot. It doesn't even really actually look like there's contact. That might be one of the old sim racing adages, net code. That definitely wasn't net code. The 9 car just not slowing down. David Trek right up and T-Bone and Kyle Chadwick in the 88 up on the high side. So that's a tough break, but it's one of those instances where with netcode, it's basically a connection glitch. The iRacing service, as up to date as it is, doesn't it basically tries to guess where these cars are going to be each time as they go around, and sometimes they guess just a little bit more, and there's not actually physical contact on the screen, and it's the cars just kind of go around. But either way, definitely a tough break for Kyle Chadwick. And that 88 car definitely seemed like he was going to have himself a solid finish with that two-tire stop. But pretty much hand the lead over to Scott Patton. He's going to hold on to the lead right now. Jeff Merck on the outside going to restart. Keith Haney, your pick, still holding on to that third spot in the 87. But Andrew Schulte, James Lehman, Vern Margheim, Jason Hughes, Wesley Holland, Eric Talent, and Michael Milfeld Jr. all up in the top 10. So still anybody's game here with about 25 laps to go or so.
Yeah, for sure. And luckily for the 46 with the whole net code deal, I don't think he's going to end up having damage out of that, where in real life, even that little bit of damage would alter the way the car drives quite a bit. So it's going to be exciting to see if maybe somebody else has something for him now, because we know Chadwick had a strong car, and we know he would have given him battle, but it opens the door for a few more guys to give him a shot.
100%. You can see the iRacing lights still on the pace car, and this is the time where these guys they're going to be trying to put together strategies in their head to try and get them to the rest of the race or through the rest of the race. But it's going to be a wonder to see if these drivers are going to be able to hold on or maybe move up just a little bit closer. And you can see the lights are now off on the iRacing pace car, lined up 2 by 2. We're going to be going racing once again here. Oh no, lights are still on the pace car. We're just lined up 2 by 2. So another lap or two around caution. These drivers want to get going though. They're all set. They're ready to go, rock and roll. They're in the spots they need to be for the restart. So we'll see what happens. Crossing the stripe, completing a lap number 86.
Yeah, for sure. And you know Patton at this point, he goes, he'd be happy if the race kept yellow the entire time, but for the 32 cars behind him, they're hoping they get that run and they give him a chance to put his money where his mouth is, I guess you'd say.
So there go the lights in the iRacing pace car. They're shut off, finally lined up 2 by 2. You can see Scott Patton electing to take the high side on this restart, where he's been strong for most of the evening, and it's going to be interesting to see what that 81 car does. Restarting in the 4th position, second car on the outside line. That 81, Andrew Schulte, very, very good on these restarts, and we've seen him kind of jump down on the low side many, many times on these restarts. But 25 laps to go. My pick's running first, yours is running third, and there's still 30 drivers out on the lead lap that could potentially win this one. So going to be down to the wire, I think, here in New Hampshire Speedway here at Loudon, and here we go. Scott Patton up high, Jeff Merck down low.
You know, Paul, a guy we haven't talked about much recently was James Lehman. I think he was caught up in a wreck early in the race, and he actually drove himself back up to the 5th position. So we know he had speed to start up front at the start, so we'll see if maybe he has something for the 46 of Patton.
A couple of drivers up in the top 10 involved in wrecks. The 05 of Lehman, the 33, the points leader, Vernon Markheim. You can see Jay Smoke, our buddy up there in the 58 SRX Series car. He's running 8th. Great run, great recovery for that whole crew. And you can see almost 3 wide getting into the corner. There goes 3 wide for a second. But James Lehman, very, very quick on the draw. The 05 car put him up to that 4th position as he gets around, almost gets around. A little bit of a wiggle there.
As there's a battle for 5th or so, we actually have a new leader, and Jeff Merck got past the 46 of Scott Patton, and he's going to hope he can drive away.
And that's exactly what that 60 camp wanted to see. Whoa, big wiggle there for Lehman, but he grabs it. Another big wiggle. Looks like Kim Quick out of shape towards the back of the pack, but that's exactly what the 60 car needs. He sees just how quick that 46 car is with fresh air on the nose of that car. Really helps with the handling, and that's what the doctor orders. The 60 car to the point. 22 laps to go. Scott Patton still all over the back bumper in the 2nd position. Andrew Schulte right there. Keith Haney right there as well. And Vern Markheim, Wes Holland, James Lehman, Jason Hughes. These guys all still slowly crawling up towards the front. We got a lot of racing left to go here with almost 20 laps to go.
Yeah, and 20 laps, it's a lot, but it clicks off quick when you got places to go. So these guys that are running, from anywheres from 2nd on back, they want to get to the front. And with time starting to close in with lap 90 out of 110, you're going to start seeing those moves, and maybe
Little bit of the technical issues here at the Verdane HQ, but we're going to get the racing back on your screen and bring you the last 20 laps of this race. In the meantime, if you could do your absolute best, Brandon, let us know exactly what's going on the racetrack.
You're giving me some big shoes to fill here. So, but we still have Jeff Merck up front, but Scott Patton's actually underneath him now. But he's a little squirrely coming out of the corner. So where we said earlier that the bottom groove, it's a lot looser than the top groove, and you don't really have the drive off. But he's going to try to make that move again, and them battling side by side gives Andrew Schulte and Keith Haney the time to catch back up, and they're right on their bumpers now.
Internet connections and technology is what they are. They've come a long way since we started doing this here in Verdane, but unfortunately still a little bit of a hiccup in the connection. We're doing our very best to get that video back on your screen here. Less than 20 laps to go here at Loudon, New Hampshire for the Stone River Outfitters Cup Series, and it's been a great race throughout so far. Multiple cautions throughout, a couple of single-car, multi-car incidents throughout the race, but nothing too intense, too crazy. And it's pretty cool to see that these guys are putting on a heck of a show here another Thursday night. And shout out to Tim Terry. There is no Kenny Chesney concert. I'm not quite sure what you were looking for there. We don't have that kind of budget here at Verdane TV.
No, and I'm definitely happy to be here for my first time ever. And announcing's not something I do often. I have a race car in real life, but it doesn't work. So I've been on the camera crew for Tim recently, and now I'm announcing with you. So it's definitely fun to try out the different aspects of the racetrack.
Different aspects of the racetrack, different aspects of entertaining the masses, and that's I'm kind of in the opposite boat. I don't have a race car just yet, but I do start a new job at well, I won't put the company name out there yet because they're not paying me yet, but I'm gonna start a new job next week. And well, I live 12 minutes from the Waterford Speed Bowl, and they've got the Super X division, which essentially is bombers for you guys up in Maritime Canada. So you might see the number 94 car out on track here in the coming months. We'll see if we can get something put together before the snow starts to fly. But as we kind of put everything together, definitely looking forward to the 2022 racing season, as we've got a couple of rides with a race car as well. So lots of real racing action coming up in the Verdane family here, so be sure to check that out on the social media. What have we got going on track?
I was actually just about to say, we saw the 46 temporarily pass the 60 of Jeff Merck, but Merck pulled the crossover from the top lane to the bottom, is now on the inside of him. And these guys have been battling back and forth for the past 5 or 6 laps, and it's a great battle to watch. And Andrew Schultz is hoping that one of them make a mistake, because he's now passing Jeff Merck for second place. So that's out of these top 3, and even 4th to Haney, 5th to Holland, like these guys are so close, anybody can win it. And at this point, one mistake could ruin it for all of them. So it's going to be exciting to see who can pull out here at the end.
And we just got that video back in time to see that side-by-side battle for first, a little bit of contact between Scott Patton and Jeff Merck, and they kind of slid on back, and the Merck back to the 3rd place. He kissed the wall just a little bit, and he's got side-by-side battle behind him between Holland and the Haney machine, the 87, up in the 4th spot. But it's still Scott Patton out front. Andrew Schulte and that 81 Terry Labonte throwback paint scheme still up in that 2nd spot, trying to make something happen, trying to get around that 46 car of Scott Patton. And he's got about 12 laps to do it here as we cross the stripe. They shoot on down to turn number 1.
And this was the green flag we've been waiting for the whole race, getting 10, 15, 20 laps in at once. And we've seen a lot of pressure on the 46 of Patton, but he's holding on strong so far, but I wouldn't count Andrew Schulte out at this point.
And you can see just running a little bit different line than the 46 is trying to run, trying to do his homework, see where he can get around him, potentially on the low side, potentially on the high side, where we've seen that work for many, many drivers throughout the night here. And you can see coming out of turn number 4 this time, going to cross the stripe with 10 laps to go at Loudon. And side-by-side battles back here for 4th on back. They think better of it for 4th, but 5th place, little side-by-side action with Lehman down low and Vern Markheim up on the top side.
And Schulte and Patton running pretty close to the exact same lap time, so they're definitely the top of the field right now. And for them, they're looking in their mirrors, hoping that everyone else is side by side, giving them the chance to pull away, which Jeff Merck is sitting 3rd. He's got the clean air, and he's actually starting to close back in on the top 2. So this could be, anywhere from a 10 or more car race at the end of this.
And you can see right now everybody doing a little bit of the conveyor belt racing action. Everybody essentially single file all the way throughout, trying to cool the tires down as much as you can when you're going full speed here at the 1 mile track, and trying to see if they can save maybe just a little bit here for the last couple of laps. And with 9 laps to go, Jeff Merck running in the 3rd position. Talked to him a few laps ago, said he definitely had something for the top 5, didn't quite have enough to get around the 46 car, he thought. But you can see right now, anything can happen with 9 laps to go here at Loudon.
Yeah, and all it's going to take is one mistake from one of the top 2 to give Jeff Merck that spot back. And, if Schultz and Patton start going side by side, then that gives Merck the chance to catch up, and all he has to do is capitalize on that one mistake. And he's definitely got the car to beat tonight, so it'll be exciting to see how these last 8 laps pan out.
For sure, and we've seen many last lap mistakes happen here on the Dayton TV, and we've seen it happen a lot of times with the road course ringers here on the Multi-League Cup Series. Last lap, you feel comfortable, you got a big old lead in front or behind you, and unfortunately you kind of slip up just a little bit, and we can see right now half a second the distance from first place Scott Patton on back to Andrew Schulte, and he's got about a quarter second from him back to 3rd, and Jeff Merck in that 60 car. And then a little bit further on back is Wesley Holland, James Lehman, 4th and 5th place, Vern Markheim, Keith Haney, Michael Milfeld Jr., Jason Hughes, and Alex Chapman moving on into the bottom half of the top 10. And these drivers pretty much just kind of biding their time at this point, not racing too hard. The tires are starting to get a little bit on the older side, so I don't know if we're going to see a huge challenge for the lead here, but anything can happen with 6 laps to go.
Yeah, for sure. And as I'm watching Scott Patton here, you can see he's done his homework. He knows what he's doing. The car looks smooth. He's running the higher line and cutting down on the exit. And as you watch a lot of these other guys try to catch him, they get sideways out of the corner. But Patton right now, he's got no pressure behind him from that close, so he can just ride the line he wants, and he's hoping this race stays green at this point.
And you can see still single file for the most part up towards the front. Barney up in the flag stand, going to give him the high 5. 5 laps to go here for the Multi-League Cup Series at Loudon. And it's crazy to see just how good Scott Patton is. We talked to him last week from the podium. Had a great run at Atlanta Motor Speedway. He finished up in the top 5 and was going to come to New Hampshire, his local racetrack here, and try and come home with a victory, and he's doing just that, running up towards the front. 6/10, almost 7/10, 3/4 of a second lead over Andrew Schulte, and laps are starting to wind down here, Brandon. It's looking good for the 46 cam.
Yeah, it's looking really good for him, and that's the thing about these cup leagues, where I'm a short track guy. The tracks aren't the same, but it's the same idea, where they went from Atlanta last week, 1.5 miles, where it's a lot quicker and less braking, less turning, to New Hampshire, where it's a lot of braking and a lot of turning. So Patton's definitely put his practice in this week, and his car's looking really good right now.
And we don't want to call him a part-time driver, but has not run the full schedule here. Started 17 races before tonight of the 20 races. But he's still setting 4th in points, and a lot of that's got to do with his 6 wins on the season. And if he comes home here tonight with a win, that'll be 7 wins. The only driver, one of 4, 5 drivers with multiple wins here this season. But definitely what he needs. 5 poles, 6 wins so far, 11 top 5s, 13 tops 10s. So that 46 car doing fantastic. Caution flag going to come out, going to set us up with a green-white checkered. We haven't seen one of those in a very long time here.
This changes everything. So, Patton's been out front all night. He's going to have the jump on the restart as he has all night, but all these guys behind him, they know this is their chance to get him. It's going to be a green-white checkered, so they're going to be up on the wheel, and they're going to give him all they got.
I'm going to pull up the Kong Beer Bong instant replay one more time here and take a quick little look-see and see what happened with the 327 car. And it looks like there potentially might have been a little bit of contact, but for the most part, it looks like it might have just been a single car spin here. We'll take a quick peek, look in on that 327 car. The 123 comes up, just kind of takes the air off him a little bit, and that car wrecks for almost an entire straightaway. You can see just really trying to hold that snap-on machine down, and overcorrects just a little bit and slowly kind of backs it up into the outside wall. But definitely grabs a gear very quick. There's a driver almost made it a bad night for the Chapin Gru, but there you can see not too much damage on the 327, so that's good news there. Going to restart towards the back, and looks like there's probably half a dozen or so cars that are going to go down pit road and get some service to their machines, and the 327 is one of them.
Yeah, and as we were watching that replay, I was watching Scott Patton, and I think he almost faked out the entire field. He cut up at the last second, and maybe this could have been one of those decisions where if second on back all pitted, it would have put Patton in a tough spot. But we see the top front of the field, they all stayed out, so it's just going to come down to pure skill and talent at the end of this race.
So Scott Patton on the point. Andrew Schulte been really good on these restarts, but hasn't had enough to get around the 46 car. He's going to restart in second. Wesley Holland and Jeff Merck. That's second row. Lots of talent in there. James Lehman, Vern Markheim, Keith Haney, Mike Milfelt Jr., Jason Hughes, and James Brown rounding out the top 10. Kind of a who's who for the Multi-League Cup Series up towards the front. And man, oh man, this is really going to get exciting here with these drivers up towards the front, and it's anybody's ball game at this point. We can see there's a lot of drivers up towards the front that know how to make this place, make their cars work at this place, and Scott Patton's no stranger to making the car work. You can see that 46 Stone River Outfitters car holding on to the lead. Can he hold on for just a few more laps?
And yeah, he's been at the front all night long, so we expect a big run for him on the green white checkered, but for all the guys behind him, they want to be where he is at the end of the race. So they want the win. They're going to push as hard as they can. And it says we got 2 attempts at a green-white checkered, so chances are good. We're probably going to use both of them.
Lots of caution flags here throughout the night at Loudon, and it's still been very entertaining, very action-packed race here at Loudon. 110 laps on the docket, going a little bit overtime at this point. Going to get a green-white checkered attempt number 1, and that's going to be coming in short order because the lights are off in the iRacing pace car. He's going to dip down the pace pit road here, we think, for one more time. And Scott Patton going to use that high side where he's been strong all night long. Going to take the restart up high. Andrew Schulte on the 81 going to be down low. Jeff Merck, Wesley Holland, and points leader Vernon Markheim holding on to the top 5. Business about to pick up one Mogan here at Loudon.
And this is the most important restart of the race. All those guys want to be up at the front. So if Patton makes a mistake or if he doesn't get the restart he wants, it opens the door for the entire field. So there's a lot of pressure on him going into this restart.
So here we go. The iRacing pace car going to dip down low, make that left-hand turn down to pit road. Green flag in the air. There is the whole shot for the 46 of Scott Patton. Gone. Somebody call Elon Musk. Somebody strapped one of those Falcon 9 rockets to him. He is on his way to Mars, dude. But here comes the second place battle. Andrew Schulte down low. Jeff Merck up on the high side. A couple of drivers trying to have themselves a good solid points run, but they fall in line. Single file for the top 6 or 7 cars as they turn it down to 3.
That was a great corner 1 and 2 for Schulte. He was beside Jeff Merck and he cleared him, and he actually gained some time on the 46. So we're going to see what he can do on the last lap, but it's definitely going to be exciting.
White flag, white rag, one more time around, 1 more mile to go, and just as I say that, 3/4 of a mile. Now a half a mile. Scott Patton quickly approaching that checkered flag, and you can see there's going to be one more shot wrecking behind him. They gather it back up. Caution flag does not come out. Last attempt here for Andrew Schulte. He's going to drive it in deep, but to no avail. The 46 car, the hometown boy, going to come home in the checkered flag. Going to be sitting in victory lane, burning those tires down for the number 46 of Scott Patton. A great win for the driver here, local to New Hampshire. Andrew Schulte going to come home second. Wesley Holland third. Jeff Merck fourth, and Vern Markheim, the points leader. Solid points day. He's going to come home fifth. James Lehman, Keith Haney, Jason Hughes, James Brown, and Kim Quick. Good run for him. Going to round out the top 10, and we'll show that finishing order there on your screen. But Brandon, great run here for Scott Patton and company. That 46 coming home with the victory.
Yeah, it was a dominating win for him. He led basically every lap other than the pit cycle, so it's definitely the race he wanted to have tonight. And for everybody behind him, too, it was a great race. We had a few cautions, but they definitely put on a show tonight.
100%. You can see Scott Patton parking there on the start-finish line, getting ready to burn them down here at Loudon. And you can see the rest of the finishing order on your screen. Mark Erder going to finish 11th. Alex Chapin 12th. Brian Abbott, check that, in at 13th. Corey Reed 14th. Jeff Gilmore 15th. Daniel Ferguson, Michael Milfelt Jr., and Bill Paradise rounding out the top 18 or so drivers. Boot turn the page. There you can see Christopher Davis, George Jones, James Hearns, and Kyle Chadwick. Tough finish for him back in the 22nd position. But that's the last car on the lead lap. John Henderson, Calvin Miller, Gary Woldbolt, Eric Talent, David Schreck, Kerry Cleaver, Ken Huber, Doug Hevron, Jason Garrett, Brian Stewart, Charlie Widener, and Joe Marks rounding out the field. Looks like Joe missed the start of the race, so he's going to be qualified or scored rather with the last place points. But Scott Patton up front making it look easy in that 46 car, and we're going to talk to these top three finishers here momentarily. We're actually going to slide right on in here and into victory lane once again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins for this 46 car. Scott, how do you make it happen?
Home track advantage, I guess. Home turf. I don't know. Like I said, this is one of those tracks that I just love the track itself. Kind of one of those tracks that you spend so much time on that you kind of know every crease and crevice and the different lines and moves to be made. So luckily we were able to qualify up front and stay up front most of the race. But some of those guys gave us a heck of a battle throughout the race. Certainly a nice challenge, and that was having a blast racing with those guys. Chadwick had some awesome laps with him before we got into it, and turn 3 over there. And certainly Mark there, heck of a run for him too. And he told me before, I can show you the text message. Mark messaged me before the race and said, "I am points racing tonight." And I don't know about you, but that didn't look like a whole lot of points racing. It was a good run for him up there. Andrew too, one of our teammates from Bandit, up there in second on the podium. So yeah, all around good run for our Northeast Motorsports Museum. Put them on the hood this week. So right down the road from New Hampshire Motor Speedway, Dick Bergeron's project here to preserve racing history in the Northeast, and we'll probably pay them a visit as we head up to the track for this weekend for the Cup race.
100%. I know you and I got together at Stafford Motor Speedway a couple of weeks back at the SRX Series debut, and one of the tracks you and I actually talked about was New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and this is one of your favorite tracks. It's a local track, and really made it look easy here tonight, even with the tire strategy early on, able to beat 2 tires, able to beat no tires, and just made it look easy here at New Hampshire. And we can see a great shot there, Northeast Motorsports Museum on the hood of the 46 car. And we know you got the Stone River Outfitters on there as well. Who else makes it happen for this 46 team as we burn them down?
Certainly a lot of teammates at Bandit Motorsports as well as Frankenstein. They help us a lot during the week and figure out strategies, and it's good to have guys to bounce ideas off throughout the week. And also just want to give a shout out to our brother Kent. I don't know if you can see it on the rear deck lid. We got a sticker for him to let him know that we're thinking of him. He's one of those guys that's more dedicated than anybody else in this league to this league. And pretty much the only time that he doesn't race is when he's not feeling well enough to sit behind the wheel for a couple hours. So Kent, thinking of you, brother. This one's for you, buddy.
And congratulations. Win at number 7 on the season. Great points night here as well, and a couple of off weeks coming up on Thursday nights. So we're going to be doing some practicing. We're doing some fun races. And what's going on? What's going on with the Scott Patton bunch over the next couple of Thursday nights here?
Oh boy, we got a series that we're working on for the end of the Cup schedule in November. It's called the MROC Series, Multi-League Race of Champions. So we're trying to put that together, and we're going to do a couple test runs during these off weeks here, next Thursday and the following Thursday. So we'll see what that brings. Still a lot of unknowns about it, but should be a blast, and it's going to be modeled basically after the late 90s, early 2000s IROC Series. So hopefully at the end of the season we're going to have cars painted up, driver names on the side doors, all the same. It's going to be the next-gen car. It should be a blast. So looking to see what details and how that comes together.
And be sure to follow these guys over on the social media outlets, the Facebook group and the page, and we'll definitely be in the loop here if it ain't TV as well. But making it look easy, Scott Patton, win at number 7 on the season. Congratulations.
Thanks, Paul. See you next week.
And we're going to slide on further down pit road a little bit, catch up with that second place car. Definitely ate his Wheaties, definitely ate his cornflakes this morning. Andrew Schulte coming home with the second place here tonight. Great run. The car looked good on short runs. What else did you need to get around that 46 machine?
I don't think anything was getting around him. He was, I knew coming in and from previous races that Scott's Scott's the man at this track. So congrats to him. I thought we might have had a top 10 car. I didn't think we had near the speed of half the guys up here, up at the front. And fortunately, we're able to stay out of most trouble. I know I got into Lehman early on in the race. I want to apologize to him for that again, because that was a big miscue on my part. But yeah, just happy to come home and with a podium.
And really made it look easy. We saw a couple of cautions kind of scattered in throughout here tonight. Did you kind of come in expecting that we were going to have a bunch of short runs here? Did you have a long run car? Was there any plan getting into it tonight, or was it just kind of by the seat of your pants and see where we end up?
Yeah, seat of the pants, trying to mind our P's and Q's and the tires on it. I know with this low downforce package that we were going to eat up the rear tires, especially on corner exit. So we were just trying to keep those on there, and weren't really looking to see that caution with about 2 to go, restack the field up. But fortunately, we're able to come out of that where we went in. So
we made mention we got a couple of off weeks here on Thursday nights. Looks like we're going to be doing some testing here for the off season, the winter season coming up here in the iRacing or the sim racing world. And coming back August 5th, a pair of road races with Watkins Glen and Indy Road Course. Have you got anything for the left and the right hand turns?
we'll see. Done a fair share of runs with like the Laura P217 Watkins Glen, but haven't really spent much time the Cup car on there. So looks like we'll have to get some practice in over the next couple of weeks.
Definitely a good opportunity to do that. Again, we're off the next couple of Thursdays here on Verdane TV here with the Multi-League Cup Series, but coming back with a pair of road races and getting closer and closer to that championship hunt. And we're going to be able to see that here live on Thursday nights here throughout the month of November. And you got one of the best paint schemes here with the Terry Labonte throwback, the 81 Kellogg's machine. Who else makes it happen? Who else gets you to and from the virtual racetrack here in that 81 car?
Shout out to Scott for painting up this number for me. He does an amazing job with paints. I know a lot of guys in the field have got painted paints on their cars. So if anyone's looking for a high quality paint job, I'd shoot him a message. You can whip something up pretty quick. Thank you guys for broadcasting this. Hope everyone out there enjoyed it.
Putting on a heck of a show here, and we may mention a couple off weeks here. We're coming back with some road racing here in the next couple of weeks. So great run here tonight. Congratulations on the second place finish.
Appreciate it.
And we'll slide on further down pit road, a little bit even further down to the third place finisher, Wesley Holland in the 41, the highest finishing Ford here in third place. Talk to us about your race.
It was a crazy one. Got a lot of ups and downs. Started good and had some contact there with Hugh early on and sent us to the back and just pretty much had to claw all the way back to the front there and somehow made it to third, made a podium. So we're happy with it.
A great run for that 41 car. Pretty much saw you all the way throughout the field from up towards the front, mid-pack, a couple of different strategies we've seen on pit road. Did you come in expecting long runs, short runs? Did you have anything kind of planned out for what we had going on here at Loudon?
I didn't really have a plan for any of it. I didn't know what it was going to be like on the long run, but like Schulte said, I just knew that we were going to eat the back tires up on this, so I was just trying to take care of it most of the race until we got sent to the back and pretty much had to drive it through the field. So no strategy really worked out other than just trying to drive back to the front.
And we made mention a couple of times some off weeks coming up here in the next couple of Thursdays, and we're coming back August 5th with a pair of road races, Watkins Glen and the road course at Indianapolis. A couple of road courses that have been around in simulations and video games for a long time, so a lot of muscle memory kind of gets into that. But have you got anything for the road races coming up here?
Absolutely not. Well, I get lucky more than I do drive well at road courses. So not looking forward to them, but we'll be here.
Another solid run here for the 41 camp, and great looking race car as well. Who gets it done for the virtual 41 team? Who gets you to and from the track?
I just want to thank all the buddies I hang out with on these Thursday nights, Friday nights. over there at Bad Apple Racing. You guys in the broadcast booth putting on awesome shows for us to watch. So awesome job. Thanks.
Always appreciated. And a great run here. Congratulations on the top 3. Another podium finish for that 41 team.
I appreciate it.
So, Brandon, your first race up here in the booth for the Multi-League Cup Series, and these guys putting on a heck of a show, as they always do. And we got a couple of off weeks coming up here, but going to be coming back with some road racing action. They got a Watkins Glen race and a race at the Indy Road Course, and then we're back at Daytona a couple weeks later for the Daytona Oval. So a little bit of a mixed bag of races coming up over the next few races, and then we're getting into the championship battle. So lots of cool stuff coming up here on Thursday night. So what'd you think for your first race with these guys?
Oh, this was awesome. I mean, obviously you want to be in the car, but if you can't, you love watching a good show. So it was a great race to watch. There was stuff going on all night, and they had a few yellows, but at the end they figured it out. We had a good green flag run, and it was a great race to watch.
And we can see, looking at the point standings, not quite including tonight's finish. We'll get a quick restart. Oh, no, we do have the updated points. 77 drivers have started at least one race this season, and it's been absolutely phenomenal to watch these guys as they came in kind of mid-season here to Venane TV, putting on one heck of a show. And Vern Markheim still has that points lead over Kyle Chadwick, who has dropped just a little bit. Now he's in second place, Christopher Davis in third, Scott Patton still in fourth, even after missing a couple races throughout the season. But 7 wins will do that. That'll put you in a really good spot in the points, and Keith Haney rounding out the top 5 in the point standings. So a couple of off weeks coming up here on Thursday nights for Venane TV. It gives us an opportunity to kind of reset ourselves and get things up and rolling. We'll take a quick peek here at the weekly schedule. Tomorrow night, Stafford Motor Speedway, I believe I will be there. I think it's going to be dry, but it's going to be hot, 95 degrees, the forecast for the racetrack. And nothing going on this weekend. Monday night, back with the Sim 500 Trans Service Cup Series. Off Tuesday night. It's Taco Tuesday, so you got to get down with that. Wednesday night, back for Tim's Corner Motorsports, Tim's Corner Live, episode number 25. Doing a little bit of bench racing with the Maritime Canadian group up there. And you see the Fatheads TV or the Fatheads Cup Series logo still there for Wednesday night. Those guys are coming back July 28th, and they're going to be under the Loose Lugs Cup Series racing banner, and they're going to be starting their season off here in a couple of weeks on Wednesday night. So lots of exciting action coming up there, and you can see next Thursday and the Thursday after that, the Multi-League Cup Series off. So we'll see if we can find ourselves something to do here at Venane TV, and it may very well have something to do with what we've got going on this winter. Still in talks with a lot of leagues coming up. NEPS is coming back. East Coast Winter League, they're coming back, and very, very quickly, and they're going to be running all winter long here at Venane TV. Talked to Tim Terry last night a little bit about some of the sim racing he's going to be doing with the Tim's Corner Special Event Series. Going to be getting ready for the All-Star Showcase coming up in April, and we've got the Bottle Rocket 350 or the Bottle Rocket 300 that Venane TV is going to be putting on here in the next, we'll call it 6 months or so, still in the planning stages for that. And lots of opportunities for your brand, your logo, your company to jump on board and sponsor with us, advertise with us. We get a lot of different things we can stick that logo to, and you got to know that sim racing, part of motorsports, one of the most brand loyal sports, and some of the most brand loyal fans that you're ever going to find. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight on YouTube, on Twitch. No Facebook here tonight because Facebook Live is broken. So check this race out back on YouTube, and you can go onto our YouTube page and take a peek at the over 450 live shows that we've done here on Venane TV over the past year and a half, and we really look forward to doing more coming up through the rest of the summer and moving on into the winter months when things start to get hot in the sim racing world. And we're also in talks a little bit with Randy the Plumber, getting him back into the booth as well for some sim racing. But I am Showtime Paul Strickland Jr. Alongside me, Brandon Campbell, jumping in, making his booth debut here on Venane TV. Thank you, Brandon, for coming out here tonight. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in here for the Multi-League Cup Series at Loudon, New Hampshire here on Venane TV. Always trying to entertain the masses. We'll catch you on the flip side. When we do, we are going to be doing it live.